was able to make. And then beyond that, it will be about 7,000, 6,000 feet. And there, she gave darshan as Parashakti, and as Maha Gauri. Maha Gauri, she is a great tapasya. What she did when, in the creation, she was the first and the only one which was present. Pure consciousness, undivided, intense energy, which wanted to experience us and wanted us to experience her. So she created, and that's considered as the greatest tapas have been done by anyone, even gods, because it must have taken a long time. What did she do during the time? She wrote the script of trillion organism, including us. She wrote the story and she became part of that script, and we are part of the script. Even one cell organism is part of the script, because creation is purely the manifestation of divine in our level of consciousness, so we can experience, otherwise we cannot. So she came, and that was a sacrifice. She became us. So mother said, you come to me and do this and that place, which was, it's called Gauri Kun. Kun means lake. And that must be the time when a meteor came and struck Earth. That must have been 4 billion, 4.5 billion years ago. And that energy is still there, because that place is still hot. And I went and I did certain ritual on your behalf. So it's almost like you went and did the yatra, Gauri Kund yatra, and it was just a month ago. And today we get to enjoy this function, because all 5 Fridays of this month are very auspicious, very holy. Aadi Velli. Every Friday is very holy. Why it's very holy? Because the galactic, the planetary alignment with Earth is very spiritual. And that time, all the devatas, from beginning from her all the way to Yakshini, they all look at Earth. At that time, if we invoke her, that's what we are doing on this auspicious day. We do the Abhishekam. Abhishekam, as you know, is very symbolic. Next to Homa, where we invoke Agni and then use Devi as intermediary, Swaha Devi, we use her as intermediary, and then Agni as Ritvik. That's a symbolism of Homa. And that's very effective. Next would be Abhishekam, because here you're thinking of her intensely. And then you offer your love, our affection, our reverence. What a great privilege for us to do that. And she lets us do that. And then the Atman and Paramatman unite. And we participate in that ritual. That is why Abhishekams are important. Homas are very important. We did a Homa, a special Homa this morning at 6:30 in Sukrahora. Venus Hora we did, because that's Asura Guru. And that time is the most intense time. Next would be Guru Hora, Deva Guru Hora. These are the usual tithis, we do the functions. The tithis are very important. Where you do, when you do is the most important. Without that information, I wouldn't have known what to do in Himalayas and Gauri Kund. I would not know what to do. I'll go there, I may pray. But this is more than the prayer, where she tells you come on this day and offer to me this, and then I will wake you up. When I wake you up, you are devotee, that's you, all of you, symbolically I go on your behalf. It's a Tirtha Yatra. So you come with me, emotional level. And I offer it to all of you because I'm doing on your behalf. How would I even know what to do, where to do, when to do? Without that, it would not be effective. It's like going to visit a temple. That's all it would be, a symbolism. But here she gives us this tithi. Tithis are very important. Today is Punarpurusam. It's a very important day today. And that day, your Atman and Paramatman get close and they unite. If you invoke her, that's the key point. We have to take advantage of that day and invoke her on that day. And today is such a day, 4th Friday. And she, each Friday, one aspect is predominant. Today it's Mother Kamakshi. Kamakshi is very important for life, for samsara, anything. It's very important aspect. On that day, she will manifest her presence. And you see down the Sannidhanam we are building, in about 3 months it will be complete, including the Gopuram, all the necessary things for a temple, like this, there. And that would be Mother's Sannidhanam, Mahamai. Mahamai is Mahamai. And this month, Mariamman is very powerful. The energy is very intense on this month. So on this month, invoking Mahamari, Mahamai, is very auspicious. Unless she gives all this information, we would not know what to do. We would do regular puja. It would not be intense. But she customizes. She tells us, this day, this tithi, you come and wake yourself up, wake us up. And she will wake us up. If you know this mystical. So in the space, those galaxies, these are all, our devatas are representative of all these galaxies, the solar system, billions and billions of them. And we give them a form and a name, each galaxy becomes one devata would become that galaxy. So we are very personal. Our religion is a personal, she is very personal. So we give the recognition to her as a person. And you can understand logically, if you look at somebody without knowing who that person are, without have familiarity, you really cannot connect that deeply. Whereas our path where we personalize all the cosmic energies, we call them gods and goddesses, but it all comes from one. Adi Parashakti Karumari Indira. Karumari itself is a mantra. Karumari. Ka is one aspect. Shiva, Vishnu. That all, each one is one mantra, one bija. Karuma. The Ri is the most important. The Ri is Ringar. The vibrating Atmic energy is Ri. Karuma. Om Karumari is mantra, simple mantra. That's all you have to know. And understand each one. You're invoking Mahavishnu, Shiva, Brahma, and Ringar. Ringar is vibrating energy. Just come on in. Vibrating energy in us. So all this are very symbolic. And you have to realize that. And then receive her. And then we offer this morning, that Homa was a wonderful Homa. We offer all the ahutis and do the Homas. And that water, energized and sanctified, is what we did Abhishekam with. See, everything is very meaningful. And we engulfed her with our love, with our devotion. It was a wonderful Homa this morning. 6:30 we did. I know it's not practical for you all to attend, but we did send information. Some people came. So it was a wonderful Homa. And then we do the Homa water, do Abhishekam. So all these steps are needed. And unless she gives us all the instruction, we would not know what to do. In Gauri Kund, Himalaya, a month ago, I would not know what to do. I can go and visit. She's magnificent. Very old temple. The little lake where the meteorite hit and formed this boiling water. It's still boiling billions of years ago. But that energy was used by her for creation. Trillion organisms. Humans are only, 7 billion? But trillion life forms. She created, and most importantly, our path is, she became that. It's not she created us. She became that. She created and became part of it. So you can see how close the connection would be. It would be very intense and very deep. So that is the principle of our religion. It's not only a creation itself. It's creation becoming part of it, and then we experience, we explore and experience and feel her. That is the mission of our temple. And each one of you is a participant in the mission. She is using each one of you. So whatever you can do, and what's the mission? To connect the Atman to Paramatman. So the Atman becomes familiar. What's the advantage would be? Once you finish as a human, next you go into the journey continues. You finish up as a human. And that loka, this is all the cosmic energy, the Yakshinis, Mohinis, Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, these are all super sensuous aspects. There's no form. They vibrate so fast, you can't see them, but you can feel them. Many of us have heard the Nada Brahman. It's here. And one day you hear it, some of you may even see it. So that is in a nutshell is the story of us. But we need her kindness, her generosity, and the wisdom she gives you. She made sure we build this place according to instruction. And those instructions are very fine, very mystical. You have to have mantra, tantra, and yantra. How do you get that? Take for instance yantra. The person who does yantra has to know each devata. There will be millions of them in that yantra. Each line is a vibrating energy like a gramophone record, and you have to know them. Then only such a man only can make yantra. You know, it's impossible almost to find a person who can relate to all these devatas. He has to be a mystic. There, he's sitting there. Swarna Venkateshwar Dikshidhar is a master yantra maker. Mahapariva, before Jayendra Saraswati, people would come and ask him to open temples. He must have opened hundreds of temples in South India, maybe North India too. And he will tell them, you go make Swarna Venkateshwara Dikshidhar, make the yantras. That yantra if you install, I will concentrate. The reason is, then only I know the divine will be present. Otherwise, it's just a statue. So, every temple he consecrated, Venkateshwara Dikshidhar made the yantra. For us, he made the yantra. See the logic behind each step. It's not just an act, it's something very deep, very profound. Most importantly, we are blessed. That's the most important thing. We are connected. Thousands of lifetime we would have asked her, make us part of you, let us explore you, let us know you. Initially, Mother Durga said, no, don't ask to get that close to me. Just admire me, worship me. Don't ask to explore me or experience me, because humans cannot handle that. So she talked him out of it. Then he went to Mahalakshmi. She said the same thing. We'll give it to you, but you won't be able to survive. You won't exist as an independent life form. Then they said, well, go and ask Saraswati. Maha Saraswati may give it to you. So he goes and asks Saraswati, and she reluctantly says, I'll give it to you, but remember, you won't exist as you are. You'll be a different person. And that was Vashishta, the one who asked this question and got the answer. So she took him to Vaikuntha and showed him the act of creation, all the complexity. And then he realized this is what creation. It's a very simple, holy process, and she showed it to him. And that act, she's giving us the opportunity to know it so that we can explore and experience her. That's the highest privilege. And each one of us, you, me, anyone, we are given the privilege to be able to do that. And it's very unique. I go to India, many ashrams, many gurus, they know about us. They tell me, you people are very blessed to be able to be accepted by her. And she trains you how to feel her, how to experience her, how to explore her. Who would be that kind to go through all the process? We, even building a temple, we human beings get together and build. Here she builds it. Inside what is going on, you'll get to see it maybe in 4 or 5 months when we get permit. Right now you can't see it. But you will see this Mahamai Sannidhanam, Mahamariamman Sannidhanam. It will be glorious. And some of you may not remember. The first original deity is her. You may not know that. She was the first deity we had. And she is Shiva predominant. You know, the leg, that's very significant. Here you see right leg, that is Shiva predominant. The left leg down is Shakti predominant. So we have both of them, Shiva predominant, Shakti predominant, but it's Shakti. But slight predominance of both are one. She became Shiva Shakti and sent Shiva. He said, "You do the dissolving function, I'll do the creative function." And then she stayed in Gauri Kund and he went to Kailash. This is the origin, this is the beginning. The story is very simple. If you understand it, she is both. She is Shiva Shakti. And the place was a very holy place. When I do my prayogam, she comes immediately, promptly. That means she's coming to you. But you have to realize it, you have to relate to her, and most importantly, show our love. That's all she needs. The reverence, the love, the affection. And then she gives you all the mystical background, she gives it to you. And those are very, very difficult to understand. The real mystical origin. Our Sanatana Dharma is Hinduism. Sanatana Dharma. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That's what the religion is all about. You have 320 million forms, but she is just one, the vibrating energy. It's called Spanda, Spanda Karika. She started vibrating and the creation started. And she can create many universes. Thought and our desire would create a universe. So you see how complex the process. But for her, it's a thought. She wants it, she wills it, she'll create it. And there are many universes. We don't know because we are in one universe. We don't even know what else exists out there. And it's also in a different plane of consciousness. They may not be physical universe. They will be astral universe. And we may not be physical beings once we finish this life. And most of you, I know, are in the final stages. You're ready to finish up and go on to next level of consciousness. And that level would be pure energy. It may not need the mind, body, intellect, ego, complex, which is very primitive. Look at our body, look at his body, look at mine. Very primitive. Heart is pumping, lungs are bellowing. Very primitive. Whereas the higher beings here, the super sensuous being, don't have a physical body. But they vibrate intensely. That's all. Ultimately, it's all vibrational. Everything in the universe is vibrating. Depending on that vibratory energy, we appear as we are. We appear as human, some appear as animal, some appear as insect, purely matter of vibration. To give an idea, say we are 10,000 units. I'm just taking an arbitrary figure, 10,000. The closest next level would be 8,000. And it goes down lesser and lesser. Then it goes to 1. The unit 1 would be the first organism. It exists, but it would not have our level of consciousness. It would not be evolved enough to abstract think. Abstract thinking is a great gift. Because without that, how would you know what happened 300,000 years ago? That's all you can know. The first 300,000 years after creation, you would not know. It's a cosmic soup. Light didn't escape, so without light coming out, you cannot see it. But after that, we know what all happened. So our mind is so developed, but compared to the higher beings, we are very, very rudimentary. We are low, not a high vibration. Our vibration, like I said, 10,000. The closest Yakshini Devata would be millions. This place is full of them. That Sannidhanam, if you go and meditate, you can feel them. And inside, such a magnificent plan she has. 33 temples inside, Sannidhanam. And that thinking process, and we cannot, I wouldn't even thought of it. And some of them are very unusual. In Drishtipeetham, there are certain energies. So all this design with great thought behind it. All this is done for the world. And we are the agents who are chosen to participate in this mission which she does. But the fact that we are participants is a great boon. It's a great gift. It's a great privilege. So when I was going to Himalaya, it was very difficult. This was the hardest yatra I have done. I didn't think I would survive, but I survived, came back, had all kinds of problems. But in a yatra, if you don't have problems, then it would not be as beneficial to all of you. No pain, no gain. So penance, the word is penance, sacrifice, that has to be given. And she makes sure I give it. And it is done on your behalf. Because the world is in a bad period right now. It's Asurika Kali Yuga. We just started, Kali Yuga just started 5,000 years ago. We got another 150,000 years we have to survive. And terrible things will happen, but world will survive. We will survive, because she will protect us. So this was the yatra. At that time, she said, this coming Aadi Velli is very auspicious because I'm building my house. She is building her house. At that time, you people come and participate, because you will never get a chance again. Once it is done, which it will be in a year and a half, we'll complete it, all of it. The Mahamaya Sannidhanam will be ready in three months. For Navaratri, we want to have it ready. It will be beautiful. With Gopuram, everything. It'll be, you can't imagine how beautiful this will be. But that will finish in 3.5, 4 months. But inside will take a year, because 33 Sannidhanam, and each one has to be energized. Each one has to have its own mantra, tantra, and yantra. So it's going to be a big, big undertaking. But what I want you to know is for us to be given that privilege. Humans are not given that privilege. Humans don't even know. They didn't even know who is God, what's the connection. They think of all the religion, and the religions have meaning and different path. But fundamentally, it's a connection between Atman and Paramatman. And Paramatman became the universe. It's full of Atman, and each one is vibrating at a different level. So they appear to be different organisms. And we are, in Earth, we are the highest, because we can abstract things and our consciousness is evolved to a point we can understand many things, not just astronomical, astrological, many fundamental truths we can understand. And she will give it to us. Many of you, your children, your grandchildren, they will get phenomenal development if you encourage them from here. Maha Saraswati aspect is very intense here. And I know many of these people, I know kids, they're brilliant. And you see in the med school, 25-30% of us are Indians or Asians, to a point where they have to discriminate. Otherwise, all this will be taken over by us, Indian, Asian, which cannot be. They have to distribute properly. So they have to do certain restrictions. But the bottom line is, she has given it. And look at Ramanujan, how easily, you know Ramanujan? He used to dream, and the dream lady would come, Maha Saraswati aspect would come and give him some information, and he will write it down, some information. And he sent it to his professor in Oxford. And Professor saw, he didn't even know what it was. Ramanujan himself didn't know much. It was very complex formulas. And some of them are planned to travel. The wormhole concept, you know, the wormhole between planets, between solar systems. You can directly go if you know the wormhole concept. It was not known at that time. But she told him, and he writes it down, and those are the greatest truths. Now they are finding. What was she telling him? Just a few words. She's given the whole truth of creation and the universe, all the secrets. We still don't know that, because they are just deciphering now, after almost 100 years, 80 years. It's very deep, very, very complex, and beyond science. But she is Maha Saraswati aspect, not as Saraswati, as Namagiri. Her name, I think, is Namagiri, which is one of the deities, comes to us. She will talk to you, but you may not remember, because that language is very high vibratory. Human mind probably cannot understand much of it. He didn't either. But what he wrote down, they are now deciphering. So you can imagine all the noble laureate truths she would give it in just a second. if we have a grace. So the kids who come here, they will have a tremendous future. If they come here and meditate, learn to understand what this intermediate cosmic energy is. I call them yakshini, that's a common term. It just means a super sensual being. Not human, super high vibratory. High vibratory energy probably is more descriptive of that. And this place is full of them. This place, because we've done so many homas. And importantly, she chose a place which is very holy. There's a river running. And temple built in a river is the most auspicious because all these yakshinis, mohinis, the others, they all congregate in a river temple. And there are not that many river temples. And the river banks people build temples. Right on the river there are not that many. But the energy is most intense there. And she made sure, because when we broke ground, we didn't even know there was a running river. After 6 feet, we saw the running river. Then you know what happened? You have to put the poles, pilings, go below the river, which is about 20 feet depth, and put pilings and build it. But this is a challenge. She wanted to make sure we go through the process and grant us the benefit of the process which brings the cosmic energy in and out. It wakes up. The word probably is waking up. And then you move on quickly to higher level of consciousness. That is the fundamental, the self-realization. That's probably the beautiful term. Self-realization. Realizing ourself. Not the mind, body, intellect, ego, which is not the self. Which is a covering. We use it, we need it. Short-term rental. So we use that through it and accentuate our Atman and keep moving to higher level of consciousness, depending on your level of evolution. Can you imagine a divine being so kind to do all this for us? Even divine thinks of us, that's a great boon. But she thinks and she plans and she's given. Once we do all of it, it'll be magnificent. You know that front, you see what happened to the trees? When I was in Himalayas, she said, Asuras will attack you because of sadness. And I was very sad. One day, they cut all the trees. Beautiful trees, 100 years old, 50 years old. I come next day, I see, then I knew what she was referring to. Strangely, there's a man up north, a Siddha. He is a specialist in tree spirit. Trees have spirits. That's why Buddha got enlightenment on the tree. And he brought some trees and planted it here. It is on that side. And I asked him, he's an American, David Millard. You people remember him? You remember him? We'll invite him. And when I asked him, how do you know to which tree to bring? He said, the man, an object with the face of an elephant came to me. That's Ganesha. He did not know it was Ganesha. He said, came to me and he said, this place, mother wants certain trees and I'll bring it and give it to you. And he came. So I called him up. He's going to bring his plant. He's got a big farm up north. He'll bring them and plant them. 8 feet tall trees all around. So this is the reason why for that drama. Because she wants us to enjoy those trees, all the energized trees, special trees. I wouldn't have thought of it. But I left those trees. That would be normal trees, good trees. To me, trees are life form. You do not cut them. These are life form. What is anybody can understand. They grow. No one doubts that. But different level of consciousness. So we are going to have him bring this from his form. And the trees he brought are from Greece, in an ancient island in Greece. I think it's called Miletus. Hippocrates, Hippocrates is father of medicine. He practiced in that place underneath the tree. And that tree he brought and kept it here, not even knowing that I'm a doctor, he's a doctor. But it's many, many strange things that happened. So many of them I can't begin to explain. So we will see the trees all planted, so you'll regain the auspiciousness. Because I felt very violated. I felt very sad. Because there's one tree on this side, and it was cut by another person. And that deity was very, very offended. Why would you cut me, my aspect of it? And I realized these are not ordinary trees. They are real life forms. And she said, I gave it to you people, and you people cut it this way. There are many of them, but that one I felt bad. But there are many of the trees there. We did many homas on that side, and you can hear them many times. I can hear them many times. And some of you have heard them on that side. These are all shamanic priests, and they lived thousands of years ago, not the American Indian. That's recently, before Columbus came. Thousands of years, many shamanic rituals took place here. That is the reason she chose this place. So all the supersensuous beings feel comfortable that these ancient mystics meditated and worshipped and woke up their self through that. I call them shamans. In Mexico and Brazil, there are shamanic religions. Shamans are siddhas. They can communicate, they can connect, they can see things which cannot be seeable, they can hear things which are not hearable, they can feel things which are not feelable. They are shamans, like siddhas, our siddha. And this place is full of that energy. So she chose the best place. How else would you have chosen this place? Who else would you have chosen? No, you have to know that. To do that, Mother has to give the kindness, give us the contact, make the place, this place, chose this place to build her house so you and I can come and receive her intensely. It's a mighty boon. It's not given to humans. Many lifetimes you would have asked for that. And I do on your behalf, every ritual I do here, even that is on behalf of you. I do it for you, and each one of you are participant, even though you may not sit and do this ritual. This ritual, mentally, I do what is called prayogam. That guru there, Purushottam Goswami, he was a Jagat Guru. He has a big ashram in Vrindavan. He came and he introduced me to some of the deities. Deity meaning the cosmic energy, not the deities like we have. And he introduced me to them, and then Venkata Diksha there made the yantras. So you see how much work has gone through. And these are not normal work. You will never have a chance to interact with this being who are so kind and know us so well and want us to reach her. To that end, she does all that. And I have now even read in scriptures, the Mother can be that kind and that personal to plan and execute, make sure we participate in that. That's extreme kindness, extreme love, extreme affection. And you earned it. I have earned it. All of us have earned it. Otherwise we won't get that. Nothing is given to us unless you evolve. How long it has taken? Maybe like Arjuna was told by Krishna, 800,000 lifetimes. That many times we have existed and we have learned and we grew, and this time we will reap the rewards. So in a year and a half, you will see a magnificent temple. In 3.5 months, you will see Mahamariamman Sannidhanam here. I will get to enjoy all of it. So participate in it, because when I was in Himalaya, I said, please tell them to be touched by me, because this is not something they can get it in many lifetimes. So participate means you have to show some affection, some reverence, and some sacrifice. Sacrifice ultimate. Look at Gauri Ambika. She sacrificed. She did meditation for creation, probably million years. And then she created the life form. So the sacrifice is fundamental. She just wants our love, our affection. And here, Tavaraja and Bhuvaneshwari is sitting here. They're given $500,000. They're rich people. I'm not saying they're rich because they give money. They're truly rich. Any one of you can be that, but that's a lot of money. That is his privilege, his blessing. He was chosen to give it. So I don't even thank him for all the money he used. Because why should I? It's between him and her. I tell him, it's between you and her. And I don't have to thank you. She would do what needs to be done. And they're all very spiritual people from Sri Lanka. And I watched the whole drama, how without thinking he gives. Why, I don't know. Only thing I know is one day he'll come and say, somebody owed me money. I didn't think they'll give it to me. They gave it to me. That's about $100,000 and he gives it to the temple. But I look at it this way, what a privilege. How much that soul of his would enjoy. So they're blessed people. Not just one lifetime, many generations they have received. And he would, when my time ends, which should be soon, I wanted to go to Himalayas and do something for a long time, year or two. Once I do them, you won't see me here. I'll be up there. And he would be the one who would be running it. So whatever he does now, he is a beneficiary. I'm just a caretaker. I do the same thing for all of you. It's really a comedy. When I look at each act, how she does it, it's really a comedy. Life is really a comedy. If you look at it that way, if you look at it, pain, suffering, sadness, which is part of life, but you don't do it that way. She, Pratyankara Devi gives you that perseverance. Every deity here gives one aspect. The perseverance, able to tolerate extreme pain, extreme suffering, extreme sadness. Pratyankara Devi would give you. Her bija is Sham. Sham bija would handle any pain, any suffering, any loss, any sadness. So when I saw that tree, I was doing that continuously because I was sad. Then this thought happened. So we called him, and he's going to come and plant a special tree. These are magical trees. You'll see, they're not regular trees. They are magical trees. And he'll bring it from his farm up north and plant it, hopefully in the next month or two, before our Navaratri time. I would want that. So we'll plant them all. We will have Mahamaya Sannidhanam ready. So we'll have a wonderful Navaratri. Other places will take a year and a half to complete it, and that'll be a most magnificent temple. It will be 25,000 square feet. It's not the size anybody can build, but if they have money and the blessing. But the way she has planned it is very unique. I would never have thought those deities. They're very unique, very unusual, and I would not have thought of them. I would have thought of some of them, but not all of them. She wants to make sure you get all of them. See how kind she is, and how fortunate we are that she's so personal. She's a personal goddess. In this place, she's a personal goddess. So enjoy her and participate with her. But there's no way out except sacrifice. Whatever you can. $5, $10, $100, $500,000, whatever you can. Do it and participate in that project so that you can get that. It's money alone can't do it. Unless you have the privilege and the blessing, you won't get it. Why is the only one who comes and gives that much? Because that's his blessing. And many of the devotees, there's one person I'm meeting tomorrow, he wants to give up everything, wealthy man. He wants to become a sannyasi. I said, this is sannyasi. We are all sannyasis. But you don't look at it that way. So I'm meeting him on Sunday. And apparently he has met me. And he said he planted the seed in me. And now I want to give up and go to Himalayas. I said, I'll find, there's a big ashram, Shivananda ashram, very nice. You can stay there. And be a sannyasi if you want to, but does she have to be? No. Like Krishna, sannyasi is a person who is detached, who enjoys everything. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Ours is the only path who allows all that. If you look at any other religion, there's a lot of restriction, a lot of judgment. We don't have that. In Hinduism, it's not judgmental. It lets you do whatever you want. That's what she told me once. I've given you billion years. What's the rush? Take many births. Take as much time you want. But grow up and feel me. I've given you the time for you to feel me. Feel me. Enjoy me. And then move on. Who would give this kind of advice? The divine would say, you sacrifices. Now, nothing wrong with doing all the sacrifices we do, the rituals we do. Those are important. Fasting, all the rituals we do, they're very meaningful. if you understand why you are doing what you are doing. And our religion is very, very complex, but if she talks to you, you'll understand what she wants you to do. And you'll do it very easily without any complexity. But that complexity of Hinduism is very complex. At the same token, it's very simple because there's no judgment. She doesn't say rush, finish it off and go. She says, I've given you a billion years, so take your time. Travel, enjoy the journey. This is a journey we are all making together. That's a happy journey. So don't feel sad and depressed. There's no need for that. Because I want Bhoga Moksha. Do you know the term? Bhoga Moksha? You won't see the term in Vedas even, because they are contradictory. Bhoga and Moksha are mutually exclusive if you look at it. But she allows. In my children, I want them to Bhoga and Moksha, both. And I will grant them that. Usually you can't have that because one ties you down. The desire and the Bhoga ties you down. It doesn't let you move on. But she says, I will do that for them. I will grant them. And that offer itself is a huge boon. Bhoga, moksha. Because you don't see that word anywhere. Because they're exclusive, mutually exclusive. Bhoga and moksha. Moksha usually says, give up the desire, sacrifice, and take pain and suffering. But she never says that. She says, no. With my children, I want them to enjoy, but I want them to know themselves, meaning your Atman, know that, enjoy it, and travel. And I will make sure you meet all the cosmic energy, and your travel continues. Because our travel doesn't end with human. From human, we go to divine level, Devata level. Then we have obligations to others, lesser life forms, humans. Humans would be lesser life forms. That we have. So we will have a job to do and all that. That will be a very interesting journey. And she will be with us to accomplish that journey. Can you imagine the magnificent information she's giving and how kind she is? And whatever we do is of little consequence. Because she is the universe. One of the Yakshini asked me, what can you do for her? You adore her, you worship her, you pay her, you love her. What can you do for her? Can you think of anything you can do? I said, only thing I want to do is to connect the life forms with her. That is our mission. Our mission is to connect humans to Divine Mother. And that is a great mission. And if it can be accomplished, she will be pleased. What else she needs? Because she not only created the universe, she became the universe. Every cell, every organism is her. So there's nothing we can do it other than connecting all the life forms with her. And that's the greatest privilege, to be able to participate in that. And to do that, you and I have asked many, many lifetimes for that privilege. And she has given it now. So take advantage of it. How effectively you do, it's up to you. She would make sure that you do it effectively because she does all the functions. She reminds us on that day, on that star, that tithi, you do this. Because those are very important. The day you do, which deity you ask, those are all very important. Like a Shukra is very important. Today, on his aura, first aura, 6:30, we did the Homa. That is needed, that all those information she grants you, when to do it, where to do it, how to do it, that you won't know. Then the yantra, mantra, tantra, everything she gives. That humans are not granted all those. You have to have special privilege. And you obviously have it. Otherwise you won't be, I cannot give it to you. It's between her and you interaction. And so it's a wonderful day. Very, very auspicious day. Next week would be the last Friday. Today is one aspect of it. Kamakshi Ambika. Kamakshi Ambika is a very important aspect. Manmata and Rati are very important because of procreation, for life and samsara. You need him. Mythology says he was burned. He is never burned. Manmata always exists. Without him, we would not have samsara. But mythology says he disturbed Shiva, so he burned him. That's all mythology. But Mother Kamakshi came, and that's why in the Kameshwar temple in Kanjivaram, you would not see Shiva's form because she was not very happy with what he did. So there won't be any Shiva, only Kamakshi will be there. Wonderful deity. She gives us happiness, life, fulfillment. Fulfillment, that's a good word. Fulfillment is something which you crave for. And it almost looks like you never have enough of that. We all crave for that. But the fulfillment aspect, she will grant you. And you are destined to have it. So take it. Because obviously you are special. And you accomplished so much of that. So today you think of Mother Kamakshi. That is her day. And just watch the temple, how it comes. And I hope 25th of September, Navaratri is 6th of October. So by 25th, I want to have that place done so we can celebrate Navaratri there. And look at that, same deity who came first, she comes back again. All this you cannot plan, only she can do it. I didn't even know that when I planned it, and I realized that was many of you are attached to her, I think. Many devotees, they are all asking for her. I said, whatever she wishes will happen. Now I see she's back there as a chairman of the board, Mahamari, she's the chairman of the board. So she watches the homas we are going to do and make sure we don't do any mistakes, because that all has to be done properly. She sits and observes. Can you imagine? Divine sits as a chairman of the board and observes. This much of care, this much of attention to us so that we will benefit. She does it all. So it's a great privilege. Shiva is a wonderful volunteer. Day and night I see him here. That is his privilege. I tell him, go home and see your wife once in a while. But he's committed. And strangely, he was a skeptic. Can I say that?
Yes. It's okay.
He was a skeptic. He didn't believe any of it. And apparently one day I gave a little talk, like I do, ad-lib thing. Something I said, it just touched him. And he woke up. For many, many lifetimes he wanted that. Now, he's very dedicated. Not because I say it, I tell him, go, go and get some rest and do something else. But he said, no. But to him, that is important. And it's not my privilege to tell him don't. But that's between his Atman and Paramatman, that's Mahamaya. And he is blessed to be able to receive that. And because of him, his family will get all the benefit. From home, she will get it. Because you do the intermediary aspect of her. And she sacrifices because she gives you up many times. So she should be paid. And it's a right thing to do, and she will be paid. Her father is a wonderful man. How is he doing?
He's doing.
Yeah, he's touched by Mahamai Karumai. And I think it's your brother who was very ill. She saved him.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah, she has communicated with him. Gurumurti. Say hello to him for me. And she has saved him many, many times. So many of our devotees, she has talked and they listened and they heard. And this doesn't happen. It happens 1 in a million times because we are so far away, trillion times away from her. She is high vibratory energy, trillion. We are very low. We are actually dense beings. But with the kindness, she gives us whatever we need and all these yatras, all the benefit of that. So she says, you go and do on the behalf. And I don't know how long. I'm going to let Tavaraja do it next year if he volunteers. It's difficult. Physically, it's hard to climb up, to a high level. But it's a privilege. And I don't know how I manage it, but I do it on your behalf. And I was there just a month ago. I already miss her. She's not very high spot. She's about 5,000, 6,000 feet. It's called Gauri Kund. Gauri was Mahamaya, and she is there. Small temple, but very, very intensely energetic. And she wanted me to do that ritual on your behalf. So when I come back, your Atman will benefit. You won't know it. Mind body level, you may not even know what has been done. But it has been done for you, and your Atman would know. And you will wake up. As time goes on, you'll start seeing things which are not seeable, hear things which are not hearable. The many actions here, they'll contact you and you will see them. Many of our devotees have connected with them. So it's a very wonderful, holy place. And as I said, I felt so sad when I saw the trees cut without my permission, without me knowing. In one day they cut it. So we hopefully will restore all those trees. And those would be, as I said, would be magical trees, not a regular tree. Because he nurtures them. And he's the world's authority in trees. He's been in television interview. He's a very, very auspicious tree person. He knows the soul of a tree. And he will bring them and plant them so we will be touched by them. That is the reason why this tragedy happened, where I felt so bad that they did it. Then I realized it's all our game she plays. She wants us to feel these magical trees, the energy of the magical trees. We will. That's good for the whole world. The world is going through. Is it time?
No, you have that.
Time. Some more time.
Yeah. In another 10 minutes, the Alamkaran will be over. But that's a magnificent temple. What I saw on your behalf, it's a magnificent temple. The water is so intensely hard. Billions of years ago, a meteorite hit and energized that. And she manifested with energy. Same thing happened with Himalaya. That's the reason why Himalayas are holy. You know that story of Himalaya? Piece of Africa split and floated and came and hit Hindu Kush mountains. That impact would have been 1,000 atomic bombs, maybe more. At that time, those devatas who were floating in the universe saw that cataclysmic, trillion life form. Because the heat was so intense, nothing can exist. No gas, no water, nothing. Only plasma was the only fourth state of matter. That's the only thing which existed. That's why Mahavishnu is there in that Shaligrama. The reason is they looked at with kindness the cataclysm happening on earth. How long ago? Probably 80 million years ago, 100 million years ago, long before we came. We are only 4 million years humans. So at that time, they felt compassionate. And that compassion would manifest as a divine energy. That's why Shaligrama is holy. So we worship it. We take the Vishnu's energy. So everything has a meaning behind it. But again, as I said, it happened 80 million years ago. But the emotion would have been very intense. The compassion of the devatas would be very intensely affect any life form. What life form existed 100 million years ago, they had a whole civilization of dinosaurs. And they existed 150 million years ago. And they had a whole development. They probably had a family, they had their own culture. But they disappeared 65 million years ago. So they had enough time to evolve. They existed for 150 million years ago. Obviously, they have evolved. We look at them as animals. No, they have their own level of consciousness. We think we are the only one. Even animals, we underestimate them. Dogs and cats, they have their own level of evolution, own level of understanding. And they're very smart. They're very thoughtful about things. But we assume they are not human, so they are not smart. It's not true. The consciousness is different and the intellect is different. The consciousness depends on our own growth, our own evolution, and our own nicety and purity. That's what Mother says. Be pure, be kind, be generous, because that's all you have, each one of you. Help each other. Not just human, any life form. That's me. So be kind to me, So when the Yakshini asked me, what can you do? I said, I will do this. That's all I can do. I will do this temple and participate, give some talk like this, wake you up so you'll understand that. And that's her kindness. So whatever comes from my mouth is between you and her. I won't even remember. If you ask me tomorrow what I said today, I won't even know. But I will say something intelligent, something holy, something auspicious. You would know that. Strangely, each one of you would take some thought process, and it will be different. Same thing I'm saying to you, but you will take one aspect of it, and that is what you need, and she will know that. His cousin came from Bombay, businessman. He had some question. He came one time, I saw him, and he said he was asking for a question, and it could not be answered all this lifetime, and I answered it in the talk. I don't remember. So I told him, I don't know the question, I don't know the answer, but she has answered you. So he was very happy that he got that answer. How can I not know if I had said that? And I did say it. So it's a direct transmission. It comes through me, but it's probably not from my mind, and I don't even know to this day what it was. Something mystical, and you're looking for the answer. And like that happens quite often, I see from devotees. And only she could answer that. Otherwise, I would not know what she's looking for. And we don't, our path is very simple. It's very simple. Our path, very simple, very nice, very enjoyable. It's a beautiful journey. So she says, I want you to enjoy the journey, and you will reach your next stage, which is a Devata. We are destined to be that. You go. The next time or 2 times after, I don't know that. But most of the people I know, they are at the end point, because I look at the chart sometimes. If I see Ketu in 12th house, I know they are at the final stages. In other words, most likely that person will finish up, not come back as a human. Ketu in 12th house gives that ability. So when I see that, I would know. It's not that they became like that when I come. They may become like that when they come here, but in the evolution, they have grown up. They're older souls. See, people are older than you think you are. How old, I don't know. But your travel, she would make sure. And when I see Ketu in 12th house, that's one. There are many ways you can identify a person who finish up as a human. One way is looking for. If you see Ketu in the 12th house, they have potential. They have potential. And you direct them to go into spiritual path. See, Praveen, he just came from Virginia an hour ago. He comes all the way. He's a very smart man. He's a scientist. He's a researcher. He has many patents. He comes here and communicates with her. I think he gets those information and files. A very unusual scientist. He works for NIH and National. NIH, is it? Yeah. So that takes a special brain. Only mother can give it. And many our spiritual people, they have been communicated with. Ramanujan was one example. There are many of them. And Ramanujan died very young. 32 years old, he died. Like Alexander, he died young. Adi Sankara died young. It seems to be the magical number, 32. And they disappear. But they live a full life. Look at Adi Sankara. What all he wrote. So you cannot be a human to write all those things and to travel all the way. I was there in the ashram he has built in Kashmir in north. And he walked 8th century. Can you imagine? Walking, going all the way to Kashmir and build the ashram. And that time was not a good time for Hinduism, because Jains and Buddhists were predominant. And many kings became Buddhists and Jains because these people were Siddhas. So they showed their magical ability, and the kings were very, very taken by them. So they became them. But he revived, and he also changed many of our ancient Vedic truths because he felt these are too convoluted. So he made it simple. In the process, he compromised many of the Vedic truths. He compromised because they won't accept it otherwise. He made it simplified, codified, and Hinduism became simpler and purer. Then came Ramanuja, 200 years after, and he was a mighty. And most of us, we follow Ramanuja. We worship Advaita, most of us, because we accept her as divine and also as personal, both. So worship, that is Vashishta Advaita. Ramanuja, Madhva is one extreme. He said there's no connection between us and her. She is divine, we are human. That's one way of looking at it. He was very rigid on that, very mighty person. He was in the 14th century, I think. Madhva, you heard of Madhva? Wonderful teacher. But he said, do not even think that she belongs to you. No, she's a different entity. She is the origin for everything. We are blessed by her. She will give her him. There are no such there, this world, but one entity. So Madhva came. All these are mighty people. But Adi Shankara, I look back and say, how he could have traveled 1,200 years ago, all the way up. The guy was there. In those places he built and argued the basic Hindu tenets with Buddhists, Jains, and others, and logically proved this is the right path. It's very complex. Hinduism, that level, is very complex. But now she has made it easy. She says, accept me, do what I tell you to do. Come to my house and enjoy me. What is so hard on that? She made it easiest thing to follow. She doesn't even ask, demand, no judgment. But Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Don't forget that. You always keep moksha as the end point. But enjoy Artha, commerce. Kama is desire, any desire, including sensuality. It allows. It's very, very generous in its allowance. But Dharma, don't deviate on that. Any act you do should be based on Dharma. Dharma is a wonderful word. You can talk for 1 hour about Dharma. It's a beautiful, beautiful term because there are so many types of Dharma. There are hundreds of them. And each age, each time, that Dharma is different. So it will take an hour to really talk about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. One of these days we will have a talk. 1 hour on Dharma. It's a beautiful concept. Dharma is a beautiful concept. It exists in all the religions. Every religion is basically Dharma. Jesus Christ was a dharmic person. Buddha was a dharmic person. Any faith, Jewish, Christian, the religious leaders were dharmic. They were pure beings, and they came to sacrifice. And how much sacrifice they have made. Look at the Christian faith. They were killed. They gave their life for the religion. She's not even asking her to do anything. She says, enjoy me. So that is Bhoga Moksha. So we are given that privilege. So watch the temple, see how it comes. Come and worship her, enjoy her. And every minute, know that you are chosen. That is not something it's given easily to human. You earned it. What you did, I don't know. But not in this life, not in one life. Many lifetimes you would have asked her. And you would have born in that family, which is spiritual family, mystical family. And then you get, it's all logical. There is no illogical, there is no partiality. It's given to us because we need it. On this day, an auspicious day, to come and do the homa like we did on your behalf. It's a wonderful homa. And then we used abhishekam with the homa water. All these are very personal, the personal acts. And you have to be able to receive that. That means you have earned it. When, I don't know, but at least enjoy it and continue the progress. The travel has to go on and enjoy. Life should not be sad. As she said, I don't want my children to be unhappy and be sad. And if they get into sad situation, call me as Pratyankara and invoke my Sham Bija. Sham Bija is Pratyankara Bija. she will let you persevere. Any sadness. Because she will let you know this is illusion. Today you are unhappy, this month you are unhappy, but next month it will change. So enjoy it. That kind of advice is very practical. And for the divine to give it, we are blessed, we are privileged to know that knowledge. And we are going to have a Sannidhanam for Prityankara Devata here. It's a very powerful aspect of Mother Prityankara. We have one.
Yes.
So you get to see all of them. The deities which you've never heard of, which you've never seen, they'll all be there. And you'll see them in the glory. 33 Sannidhanams down there. But Mariamman Sannidhanam will be beautiful. And this month is a very auspicious month for Mariamman. The connection gets deeper and you say her mantra. And then she already been energized today. Next Friday will be the last Friday. Come and attend it. If you can't make it, you're at home and think of her. It's all mental. Mind, how the mind connects you, Atman, to Paramatman. And this place is a holy, holy place. And there's so many devatas, so many cosmic energy. I call them high vibratory energy. This place is full of them. And once you plant all the trees, you get back the auspiciousness. Because that was lost when they cut those trees. It will come back next month. And you'll have a very auspicious place. Any questions? No. She has clarified everything. What, Prabha? You're listening, anything? Any questions? Ask Dr. Tavaraja. Dr. Tavaraja's birthday tomorrow or day after. He'll be around us after I'm gone. He'll stay there.
After you go?
Take care. Well, I'm gone, yeah. I would have been gone but for this new construction, I would have gone up there. Because there are many devatas, they like me to stay with them and do that. And I want to, but I can't. Right now, we're right in the middle of construction, so I cannot do that. But I'll finish it year and a half. Then I'll say goodbye to all of you and go back. It's a beautiful place. Himalayas are very beautiful. And but as I said, it's dangerous. The thing I saw, you saw that?
Yes, sir.
It's horrible, the whole mountain falling. I've never seen anything like that. Did you see that? You should send it to Tavaraja, that video. That mountain, Himalayan, you saw that?
The landslides.
Huh?
The landslides are bad.
Landslides are bad. And strangely, the policeman, his officer said, you cannot go. The freeway is closed, so you cannot go. I said, I got to make it for that Tithi. He said, doesn't matter what it is, I would not let you go. You'll be arrested if you go. Then I asked his officer, take me the back way. So he took me in the back way. That way was safer. There was no mountain falling. But this way, if it happened, the whole place would have been shut off. And 1 year, about 10 years ago, they had another episode like that. Many people died. But people go and somehow she takes care of them. Gauri Kun, so remember that term, Gauri Kun. Kun means lake. That's the first place she went and meditated for us. Look at the sacrifice she has made for us, for every life form. And in return, we have to take it, consume it. You're sitting here, take her grace. She'll give it to you. But take it with love, affection, reverence, and enjoying her. Is it hard to do that? No, that's a pleasure. She gives time after time, she gives that. She makes sure you understand basic things and then you wake up. So, another key term, wake up. Vivekananda said that nicely. Wake up and keep moving. They do a good job. Ramakrishna Math people, even in Rishikesh, they have built a very big ashram. If people can go. Have you been there? Big ashram. 50,000 people can say, I think, at least 5,000 people. Big ashram in Rishikesh. and very nice vibrations. You can stay there. So the person who's meeting me who wants to become a sannyasi, I'll refer him to that place. Go stay there for 6 months and grow up. That's your destiny, and you will, right? I don't remember him. He said he saw me 10 years ago. Something I touched him. I don't know what it was. I'll try to talk him out of it. No sannyasi, you do your karma. Karma yoga is best because it's practical. But this fellow probably has done all that. You know him?
I have not seen
Yeah, not seen him. He must be in his 60s. Probably he's tired of this mundane living, so he wants to go to higher level of consciousness. That's his destiny. I cannot say. I would not introduce him to sannyasa because I don't intend him. I'm a mailman. What do you expect a mailman to do? He can deliver mail. That's all. I cannot induce you to take up sannyasi and give him life. That would be terrible. The family won't like him. But he's a mature man in his 60s, so I'll see him on Sunday and talk to him. But I'll introduce him to that Shivananda Ashram. Shivananda was a great person. Have you people read about him? Shivananda? He's a wonderful person. He was a doctor in 1930s, I think. And highly evolved person. Ramakrishna Math, they do a wonderful job. So if you want to donate to when you go to India, if you go there, do whatever you can, because they do a wonderful job for Hinduism to make people understand. And Vivekananda did a wonderful job. First time he took this concept to West and make the Westerners understand our depth of understanding. Because nobody understood the depth like Vivekananda. They've written nice books. So they have that Shivananda Ashram people. So I will give the reference to you. So you don't have any question?
Okay, you can give a lecture about Dharma during
Yeah,
Navaratri.
Dharma, one talk on Dharma. Because there's so many information about Dharma. One Dharma we know, but there are hundreds of them. And it varies each time it changes. And each situation it changes. Dharma is a common term, but it's a very, very profound term. And that's what she says, be pure, be kind to any life form, not just human, any life form, be kind, because there's an Atman. Even in a small insect, there is an Atman, which is a part of me. A piece of me is there, so show respect. Be kind. So I tell her, yes, I do. We are busy trying to catch that ant the other day. There's one ant which always comes to my heart. It would not let me catch it. I want to catch it and put it on. Now, she knows that I'm looking for that. Are you people ready? 10 more minutes. What is it? Special alankaram today. So you'll get to see it. They want 10 more minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
put
music.
some.
Yeah.
Next week we have Aadi Panchami, Garuda Panchami.
Yeah, next week we have Garuda Panchami and Naga Panchami. Participate because many of us have Naga dosha. We have it, whether you know it or not. We do have Naga dosha. Very commonly, not everyone. On that day you do that worship. We will do it on your behalf. And it's strange, Garuda and Naga are enemical. Vibrationally, they are enemies. But strange, on that day, next day, we do Garuda Panchami and
Naga Chaturthi.
Naga Chaturthi. On Chaturthi we do Naga. And Naga is Kundalini. We use Naga as a symbol because the only coiled animal is snake, serpent. So we use that serpent energy as Kundalini. But actually it's a Kundalini energy. And all of us have it. And as it rises, you become Gnostic. Gnostic means you understand things. Knowledge comes, mystical knowledge comes. And you understand why you are here, where you came from, where do you go from here. These are all fundamental mystical questions. Like Yamadharmaraja says, nobody thinks of me till it's too late. Yama saying, I'm the most important one for you. So I am the end point. At the end, you have to meet me. You have to go through me. Think of me once in a while. About death he's talking about. Katha Upanishad, Nachiketa asks him. A wonderful Upanishad. There, he gives information about death, what it means, what happens immediately after death, 1 day after death, 10 days after death. He gives all the mystical information. Very reluctantly, he said humans are not supposed to know that. But he insists. He says, I don't want kingdom, I don't want wealth, I don't want health. I just want to know that. Young boy of 5 years old, 4 years old, he was so adamant he would not accept anything less than that. At the end, Yamadharmaraja gives in and he says, you're so devoted, I'll give it to you. So he gives a secret. Like Vishnu Purana, how Garuda asks Mahavishnu, all the fundamental truths. It's very, very profound. You read Garuda Purana, but some of them are said in a different terminology. What it means is different than what you understand. But still it gives a lot of information about science, about life, all those things. So it's like that. But here, Yama gives, who knows death better than him? He is God of death. So he would tell you what happens to you afterwards. It's a tough journey. That river you cross, it's a tough river. Very painful existence when you cross. It even gives a dimension of the river, full of blood and pus. Very unpleasant river. We go through that. We have to go through. But if you have a good life, higher life, rich life, it'll be easy. You'll walk right through. But if you have a bad life, you pay the price. And do you have pain because you don't have a body? How can you have pain? The perception of pain is there. You don't have it, you don't have a body. You shed it, it's all burned already. But the pain and the suffering is real. Intense suffering. You go through that and then you pay off your karmic retribution. But she doesn't want us to pay that. She wants us to enjoy it. Go like a journey of pleasure. That's wonderful. And she tells us now. So Yama told all the secrets to Nachiketa. That is what Katha Upanishad is all about. It's nice, small Upanishad, but very deep, profound truths. Some of them, you may not believe in this thing. Would divine be that unkind to punish you? It's not the divine which is punishing you. It's your Atman. The thing which is causing you pain and suffering is your Atman, not divine. She would not do that. She would just observe and give you the energy to persevere. But she would not interfere with that because you have to grow up. If she interferes and says, see, where is your growth? You'll come back and do it again. That will go on and on, life after life. So she would observe, she would give you the energy. Like for instance, Pratyankara Devata. That Sham Bija does lots of benefit to me when I'm in sad mood like this tree. I was very sad. Then I invoke her and she will come and tell me what to do to remove the sadness. The sadness itself, the Divine Mother doesn't want us to be sad. She wants life to be happy, productive, happy, enjoyable. She doesn't want. Whereas some religions say you have to have penance. Penance is a very important part of a religion, but not ours. She says enjoy it. But show affection, show purity, show kindness, show compassion, and share your thing with any other life form. That's not hard to do. You don't have to give money or something, but give the affection and treat them like a life form, not an animal or killing. Now, regarding vegetarianism or non-vegetarianism, she told me once, it's your right, you do what you want, but don't offend the Atman, don't offend the life form. In other words, no violence. Whatever you want to do, but don't show any violence. Because I am in that. I am in that body. Do you want to show violence to me? So no, we don't want to show violence, but sometimes we are ignorant. And our planets control us ultimately. If a planetary position is inauspicious, you'll do wrong things. You'll incur bad karmas. So during that time, you think of divine and show your reverence, respect, come to the temple. And Navagraha, very important. Ultimately, the modus operandi of our life is Navagraha. Whatever is destined for you, they will do it. That's the way they conduct themselves. And they are real. Navagrahas are real. Our every act, most minute act, this act of each, that is controlled by them. So Navagraha is very important. So think of them and worship them because they are here to help us in our journey. Okay, thank you. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
So we're going to take the Sankalpa